Good morning, everybody. Lewis here. So today is Sunday, and I'm gonna get out of Miami. I'm gonna go to Hollywood, visit my friends. I want to show this rosetta that we transplanted on Friday, I think it was. Look how nice it's looking, and also the spotted aloe. It's looking very happy. These are some mango trees that I planted that Art gave me. I did that on the same day. And this is a new addition to my garden. I found this air plant on Sunset Place yesterday when I was out with my wife. The garden is looking very beautiful. Everything is looking awesome. Let's make sure this water hose is off. It is. So, yesterday I decided to get rid of all the wood that I had in the back of the property because I don't really have time to build anything. And I have all that wood right there, and by the time I use it up, who knows if it's gonna get rotten or eaten by termites. I had it all right there. And I removed all of it. If anybody could tell, I have removed a lot of stuff from back here. I'm really trying to simplify my life. Holy shit, guys, look what I just found. This mango tree gave me a mango. That's how much the universe loves me. I mean, not a mango, an avocado. Look at how beautiful that aguacate is. It is absolutely gorgeous. And nothing has gotten to it yet. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's all ready. I only walked out of the house 2.5 minutes ago, and I'm already getting stuff from the universe. She'll be right there when I get back. I'm already getting cool stuff from the universe. Look at this gorgeous Miami day. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's see what other cool stuff we get for free today with the universe. I'm always getting stuff from the universe. The universe loves me. All right, so this is India. And I loaded her up with all this wood yesterday. And I was a little bit worried about how I was going to tie her up because it's so long that I didn't want her to, the load to fall off while I'm driving. I have some 12-foot boards in there. So I tied her up. I tied all the wood up. I tied it all up, and now I'm gonna ask Art about this check engine light. I'm kind of getting tired of seeing it. All right, so we have all this stuff. I tied this big red towel in the back of it, so it's gonna be flapping around. I bet you though, if I have an accident, I'll get blamed for it anyway. Because I have the load on there and the tailgate is open. But I really didn't want to rest all that wood on my tailgate, because I feel like I'm gonna stress the gate. I feel like I'm gonna stress and put too much weight on it, and that's gonna kind of damage it. Believe me, this load is pretty tight. I don't think it's going anywhere. I got 2 ratchet straps on the bottom of the wood, and then I have some rope intertwined with the ratchet straps tied to each point of the wood, of the truck, with a clove and a half hitch. Those are the knots I used. And then here at the back, I tied it, very tight. And then I tied it to the tow hitch, just so it doesn't bounce. And it's not like I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna be very careful. And then I ended up by tying it to that point over there of the pickup truck, just so that it doesn't slide back. I think I'm gonna be safe. I mean, unless somebody wants to, like, a cop wants to pull me over or something, which they probably won't. I never get pulled over for anything. I'm one of these people that nobody messes with, nobody gives me any trouble. I think because I had such a tough beginning as a child, I think the universe says, hey, let's let Lewis chill. Nobody bug Lewis. Let him do his thing. And now just let him make his videos. That's what he feels like doing. Let him do it. I got my awesome apple right here. This is what I'm having for breakfast. I don't know if this is called, I don't think this is Red Delicious. My wife doesn't buy Red Delicious. I think this is a Gala. Yeah, I think this is a Gala. Pretty good. Let's get our seatbelt on. And I really haven't decided if I'm going to take I-95 or if I am going to go up University Drive all the way. What's going on with this road right here? Why is this closed? There's a detour. It says local traffic. I am local traffic. And I'm curious to see what's going on over here. So let's explore what they're doing in my neighborhood. I guess they're about to tear this road up. There's a Coral Gable police lives there, I guess. Yeah, there's another cop that lives here too. Because I always see this cop car right there. State trooper. So I guess they're gonna start tearing up this side of the road. They're gonna put those pipes in for water. That's what they did on the other side. I made a video about that. Come on, buddy. What are you waiting for? An invitation? Obviously, I'm chilling. Okay, you take as long as you want, buddy. We're Sunday. It's Sunday. Nobody's gonna rush you. You chill out. You have a great day. Doesn't matter that I have, some wood on the back. You wanna get in front of me? Go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay. Have a nice day, sir. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. So I got that load in the back. And I kind of just want to get on I-95 because I don't want to waste time If I go the bottom way, it's gonna take me at least 20 minutes longer to get where I'm going. But what I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of getting on I-95 right away, I think I'm gonna take it on University Drive all the way to the Golden Gate interchange. And that way, I can check my load again. Because obviously my pickup truck is not overloaded. But the thing is that it's sticking out about 7 feet from the bed. I mean, this pickup truck is rated for about, I think it's 5,000 pounds to carry. Or to pull 5,000 pounds, and it's rated to carry 3,000 pounds. I'm not sure. I think I can carry. I don't remember. Maybe I'll look it up before I post the video. But I'm only carrying like, I don't think I'm even carrying 500 pounds. It's very light load. But the problem is that it's very far. It's very extended far from my truck. And I'm going to bring my YouTube buddies along, so that anybody who's sick at home and can't get out today on this beautiful day can look at this video. Or anybody who just wants to watch YouTube videos and check out a ride from Hollywood all the way to, from Miami all the way to Hollywood, can do so. This is my beautiful city of Miami on a Sunday. There's usually a guy right here selling fruit, lemons, limes for $5 a bag. He's not there today. I've been wanting to buy something that actually holds my phone while I drive, so that I can just videotape and just talk while I drive. I'm coming up on the Harbor Freight that I always go to buy stuff with too. And I remember a long time ago, I didn't want to buy at Harbor Freight because everything was Chinese. But you know what? I decided long ago that the United States is not making too many products, so I have to purchase stuff made in China. It is what it is. However, I try not to go into Walmart, because Walmart mistreats its employees and pays them very cheap, and they rip us off also with the way they sell the stuff. There's a guy that weighs meat, and I've seen his videos, and he shows how Walmart says that they're selling you, let's say, chicken that weighs 7 pounds, and they charge you for 7 pounds. And then he weighs it, and it's usually like a pound or a pound and a half light. Right now we're gonna pass an area where there's always people selling stuff on the weekends, and it is right down the street. And if you could see that marketplace over there, everybody's always selling their wares over there. It's a lot of fun. I come there all the time. on the weekends. And I buy things like boots. I'm looking in the rear view mirror. I don't think I can show it. My load is fine. Everything is doing well. And I was planning, this is my storage unit right here, where I keep my storage unit. I was planning on hopping on I-95 right here and just going at, 55, 60 miles an hour. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be a little bit more careful. And if I'm going to lose my load, I'd rather lose it on the street and not on I-95. So I think I'm just going to stay down here all the way to Golden Glade Interchange. And if everything is fine at Golden Glade Interchange, then I'm just going to hop on I-95. Because my truck is pretty long right now. And sometimes people don't pay attention when they're driving. I'm used to pulling trailers and things like that. And I'm used to having, a lot of space to be careful with in the back. But the problem is the people around you. Especially in Miami, Florida. In Miami, Florida, we have people that come from third world countries. And that's been happening forever. Okay? As a matter of fact, when my mother first came here, she came from Honduras, which was a third world country. But my mom came here, first of all, before I was born, and lived here before I was born, and because she was a reporter, and she worked in DC, and she also worked in Miami. But my mother drove in Honduras. And when she came to the US, she already knew how to drive. But there's people that come from all over Central America, from all over South America, and from Cuba. And they have never driven a car in their lives. And of course, in the United States, you could buy a car for under $1,000. When I was a kid, I would buy cars for $50, $100, and I would resell them. But when you've never driven and you buy a car for $500, you drive very, very bad, and you're very distracted, and you get into a lot of accidents. So in Miami, you have to be very aggressive. You have to be careful of who's around you at all times. Because we're not talking about, a Mexican man that drove pickup trucks in Mexico his whole life since he was a child. We're talking about his wife, who never drove, and just because she saw somebody driving her whole life, they think they could drive. And they can, but it really, everybody takes driving for granted. Especially someone like me that's been driving since I was literally 10 years old. I take it for granted, but I'm very aware of what's going on, and I'm very careful. So this is basically Overtown, if I'm not mistaken. There should be a name on this train station of where we are right now. This is Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, 62nd Street and Northwest 27th Avenue. This is a Metro rail station right here. I think this is the Martin Luther King station. This might be Alapata. I'm not 100% sure. This is a predominantly black neighborhood. I lived all over this when I was a kid. I lived in a trailer park in one of the worst areas of town when I was a kid. It was very violent and very crazy. But all that has changed. All this has been gentrified. There's not really any bad neighborhoods left in Miami anymore. Because everything is so expensive. Like even in this neighborhood, people from other parts of the United States come here and they buy the houses that used to be very cheap. You could buy a house here, a 3-bedroom house for $40,000-$50,000. And I'm talking about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Now you can't. You can't buy a house for that price anymore. And what they did was they fixed them all up. So houses here now, houses here now are expensive. You can't touch a house here for under $300,000 and up. And of course, this is university, so this is more of a commercial area. You would have to go 3 or 4 blocks either way to see the neighborhoods. We're coming up on Northwest 79th Street. My trailer park used to be on, if you make a right here, it would be on Northwest 79th Street and 13th Avenue. Over here we have a sort of like a mall that has been there since I was a kid. Oh, they changed it. They knocked it out and they're building more of these stupid structures, more of these boxes in the sky. I have no idea what they think Miami's going to turn into. We have so much real estate in Miami right now that is empty. Who knows what the hell is going to happen. Anyway, my load seems fine. I'm looking in the rearview mirror. Everything looks good. There doesn't seem to be any sort of problem anywhere. When I was a kid, all of this used to be more of it was dirtier and it was a little bit more dangerous. This whole area. You know, people were poor and broke and young people that turned to crime. This was their neighborhood. So what they would do is they would go into other neighborhoods like Coral Gables and Miami Beach, and since we have good expressway system, they would commit crimes in those neighborhoods, and then they would get in their cars and haul ass into these neighborhoods, and there were always chases, always car chases. But once they got into these neighborhoods, they were gone. And you used to see that on the news, helicopter chases. Now, Miami is so safe. Everywhere. And, you know, we don't have that, you know, young, violent, desperate kids anymore. Not that much, really. It's very, very little. Even our gangs aren't very open anymore. Miami's a beautiful place to live. It's wonderful. We have the sunshine, we have the beach, we have the beautiful women. They grow like weeds everywhere. Lots of gorgeous, beautiful women. That is our biggest export, I think. That and theft of Medicare. I think we lead the nation in Medicaid, Medicare theft. We have unfortunately the Cuban community owns a lot of the Medicaid, Medicare facilities, and we just rip off Medicaid and Medicare. I don't, but you know, I'm here, so I have to count myself as part of the Florida. That is our main export, I think. Medicaid theft. This is my old alma mater. This is where I went to college. This used to be called Miami-Dade Community College. Now this is Miami-Dade College. It is one of the biggest colleges in the nation. We have campuses all over Miami and I think all over the place. It's a wonderful place to get an education. I never felt any kind of racism or anything negative at this school. I'm telling you, this is a great place to get an education. You could get an education in film. My education was in theater. I studied the dramatic arts. Because of this place, I got to work at all the theaters in South Florida, and I got to work at many cool theaters in Manhattan, including Radio City Music Hall, one of many, which I loved, Radio City Music Hall. I got to work in television. I worked at many shows such as Regis and Kelly, Regis and Kathy Lee. I worked at 13 Rockefeller Center, which had the studio of Saturday Night Live. I never actually worked on Saturday Night Live, but I walked through the studio many times. I walked through I worked at many studios at 1300. I think it was 13 Rockefeller. They had the morning show with I think Katie Couric, and I worked there many times. When you're a stagehand, you don't necessarily work for the studio. What happens is, when they need somebody, and they need somebody every day all over Manhattan, you sit in a waiting room, and then, you know, if you're not an idiot, they send you out to work. And I wasn't an idiot. I loved to work, and I was educated in the industry. So basically, I was a journeyman, but I didn't have a union card. But once the bosses met me, they knew what I could do, so they would always call me directly to hire me. So I never had to go to the hall. I would always be booked. Let's put it that way. One of the places that I worked the most was at a show called The Early Show. My boss there was Clyde Churchill. Very cool man, very cool guy. Very cool guys that worked there. It was a lot of fun. You know, Pat and Kenny. It was very nice to hang out with those men, because they were very cool guys. And the anchors were I believe it was Brian Gumbel, Jane Clayson, Mark McEwen, and that other Asian beautiful woman. What's her name? Julie Chang. Julie Chang was so funny. I love Julie Chang. I wish people could see how silly Julie Chang used to be off camera. What a breath of fresh air to be around that woman. Not only was she gorgeous, but she was so fucking level-headed, you know? So awesome to be around. She was a lot of fun. Anyway, this is, I've never eaten here. I bet it's good. Fish and chicken. I don't like to eat at places where they sell you fried chicken and fish combined like that, even though it might be good, because this is a black neighborhood and black people cook awesome. You know, I love soul food, but sometimes in places like this, they cook the chicken and the fish in the same oil, believe it or not, and you get the taste of both in whatever you eat. So I try to avoid it. And I shouldn't say that, but it's true. I mean, I grew up in this neighborhood. I was here my whole life. We just passed Church's Chicken. I've been eating at Church's Chicken since I was a kid. I used to drive up and down the street when I was 13. Many times. I don't even know how many times I've driven up and down the street, walked all over this neighborhood. Probably 600 billion trillion times. Okay, so we're coming up on the route that takes you to the Golden Glade interchange. So I am gonna follow it because my load seems to be fine. But before I get on the expressway, I'm gonna pull over and I'm gonna check my load. Because I know that I tied it correctly, and I know that everything is safe, but it is very unbalanced. I am sticking out way beyond my truck, and that is kind of what I'm worried about. So as soon as I see a safe area to pull over, I am going to. I think I could do it right here because there's nobody really behind me, and I'm just going to be very safe. It is Sunday morning, and there aren't. Oh shit! I just ran over a bottle. Watch me be an asshole and pop my tire. That would really suck. That would totally ruin my morning. But it is what it is. Life is what it is. Okay, so far everything looks safe. Nothing has shifted. I really should do something about this. So I'm gonna put my phone. I'm gonna put my phone down for a second right here. I hope my phone doesn't fall down. I don't want this dragging. Actually, I kind of like it dragging because that way it tells people that I have a load. But everything looks safe. Everything looks safe. And if you could see, that's why I'm saying my load is unbalanced, because I'm almost half of my load outside the truck. So everything is good. I'm very, very happy with it. Let's see if I pop my tire. No, I didn't pop my tire, but there's a lot of glass right there. That's why you shouldn't pull over to the side of the road. The only time you should really pull over on the side of the road is if you have to pee, or if you're gonna make love to your lady on the side of the road. That's how we do it in Miami. I don't know how they do it in the rest of the country, but in Miami, those are the only times that you should pull over to the side of the road. Again, we are still in a very African-American dominated neighborhood. We are coming up to an area that was extremely dangerous when I was a kid. Of course, I never had any problems. I never had any problems. Nobody ever messed with me because I was a native and I knew everybody, you know. So I was allowed to go in and out of any neighborhood without being taxed. And by taxed, I mean not being robbed or messed with. Let's say it that way. You know, I went everywhere. It didn't matter, and they knew who I was just because of how I looked and how I acted. And I had a lot of friends everywhere. Like right back there was a neighborhood so bad that the city only it closed off all the entrances and exits to the neighborhood, and there was only one main entrance. And if you lived in that neighborhood, you had to go all the way around to get out the main way, because that's where a lot of people would commit crimes, and then they would get into that neighborhood, and they would, you know, have ways to escape. So it was completely closed off. Back there is a lake where I used to come with my wife and daughter, and I used to bring my boat. We're gonna pass over the lake pretty soon. And we used to go boating in there, and I would bring my jet skis, and we would jet ski when my little girl was very small. But unfortunately, one time we came and there was a ball floating on the water. I said, they wanted to get the ball. My daughter said, let's get it. I said, okay, but be careful when you go over to get it. Just make sure there wasn't any alligators. And unfortunately, there was an alligator, and she saw the alligator. So from then on, even though alligators don't bother you, look at how beautiful the lake is. From then on, we never, ever came back. She never came back. She said, nope, I'm not going into that lake. And the thing is that every lake in Florida has alligators. And alligators don't mess with you if you don't mess with them. Anyway, in that neighborhood, there's a lot of very, very cool houses around the lake. And there's people that have seaplanes. And they land right on that lake. And that is very cool. I would love to experience something like that someday, but I will probably never. Express lane south, we're going north, so we are going to change lanes. I am very confident right now with my load. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. And if it does, you know, as long as nobody gets hurt, just create a little bit of drama for the world. Big deal. It is what it is, and we're human beings, and we're allowed to have fun. I'm gonna close this window because it's gonna get very loud right now. I'm gonna close this window because we're gonna get on 995, and I'm gonna turn my beautiful air conditioning on. And now we are gonna be headed north on 995, and I'm gonna pull over. I'm merging. There's a cop right there wanting to catch speeders or something, I don't know. I love India, my Tacoma. She's so freaking awesome. I love this truck. I've thought about selling her just so that I could get an older pickup truck 4x4, but that's just because of my my impulsive, compulsive craziness that I always have to be trading cars. You know, I have issues. They're always working on this expressway since I was a kid. Always. This is just a justification of our spending and throwing away our money. That is a part of Jackson Memorial Hospital. Okay, so I have this idiot behind me that doesn't see this long low. Okay, there you go. He slowed down a little bit. It's like, buddy, you know, you have to not only drive for yourself, but you got to be aware of everything that's around you. I mean, I was only doing 35 miles an hour. How fast or slow does he want me to go? Okay, so here we go, guys. Right now we are on I-95. We just entered, by the way, this was the Golden Glade interchange. Golden Glades interchange. There's a guy right next to me. He knows I have to merge, but they don't care. You know what? Let me show you what I can do. This is what you need. Okay, boom. This is what you want to see. Boom. You know? Jesus. You're not even supposed to drive on the slow lane. You're not supposed to drive on the slow lane, and you're not supposed to drive on the fast lane. You're supposed to drive on the middle lanes, the lanes of traffic. The slow lane is for people who are loaded up like I am, or people who are entering and exiting the expressway. And the fast lane is for passing. That's okay, you know. We're not gonna have a problem. We're not gonna worry about it. We're not gonna bitch. This is Ives Dairy Road. Ives Dairy is a very, it used to be a very nice neighborhood. It still is, actually. I mean, that's not what I'm trying to say. Is everybody from Miami that couldn't afford the Miami prices especially the African American community from their old neighborhoods like Overtown and Alapata. When it was becoming gentrified, a lot of them moved up here to Ives Dairy. This is the end of Miami-Dade. We're about to enter into Broward County. So what happened was a lot of people moved into these neighborhoods, and these neighborhoods used to be cheap. You could buy houses here very cheap and live in apartments very cheap. But of course, the gentrification has also moved into here, and these neighborhoods are also untouchable. Everything in South Florida is untouchable. If you're not making, decent money. I mean, I'm talking about a minimum of $100,000 a year. A minimum of $100,000 a year, and unless you have at least $50,000, $60,000, $75,000 in your bank account saved, I doubt that you're buying a house anywhere in South Florida. I mean, they have good programs and stuff like that. But ever since they did that thing where they were just lending people money like crazy, like 15 years ago, those predatory banking lending things, they don't do that anymore. So it's difficult. Plus, the government doesn't want you to own houses. They want you to rent. It's really becoming tough for regular people. I'll tell you the truth. I love everything about my country. I hate my freaking government. We are run by pieces of shit who just want to steal everything and give it to their friends, and they help each other. It's very sad. I'm not going to go into a political discussion right now, but it's very freaking sad, Look at this lady in Mexico right now. She just gave her whole country, she made it a right for people to have health care. And they were pretty good with health care before, But the United States is built so that the rich milk us. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think that, immigrants are taking our jobs. This is that. No, my friends. It's not like that. This was built so that the super elite, the rich, just milk us and fleece us all day long. I'm not going to go into it too much, but I haven't been milked and fleeced my whole life. I have studied since I was a kid, and I know the system, and I have worked around it, and I am very happy. I get to do whatever the hell I want to do, and I keep doing it, and I just do my thing. Anyway, guys, we are in Broward County. What a beautiful day. We are in Hallandale Beach. Hallandale Beach is still very attainable. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's a lot cheaper than Dade County. We're about to pass Pembroke Road. And I used to play poker here. I used to own a house in Hollywood. This is where I raised my daughter. It was a very good place to raise her. Very cute, very beautiful young woman. She is trying to make it in the entertainment industry right now. She just finished her degree at DePaul University a couple of years ago. I think that she wants to work for Saturday Night Live. I'm not 100% sure what she wants to do. But she sings, she dances, she does comedy, she writes, she produces. And she's been doing it her whole life. She's one of these kind of people that just knew what she wanted to do and does it. I studied improv comedy, and I kind of trained her in comedy. ever since she was a little girl, because we used to do it for fun. As a matter of fact, I have some videos on YouTube that I made about 12 years ago with myself and my daughter just being silly. If anybody wants to watch them, they're right there. I think I have a playlist called My Kid. All right, everybody, so everything looks good. We made it all the way to Hollywood. It took us 45 minutes. We are exiting right now on Hollywood Boulevard. I got my foot off the gas. I always do that. I'm not these kind of people that puts his foot on the brakes at the last minute, the last second. I just don't drive like that because that kind of ruins your brakes. It makes you have to get brakes a lot earlier. I actually never need brakes. I love taking care of my cars, and believe me, I know how to drive fast and crazy and wild. I can do crazy shit, but I also believe in taking it easy. Okay, so I'm not gonna go all the way to the left. I mean to the right. I'm gonna stay in the middle, and I'm gonna wait for the light to change because I don't want to have to merge. And you know, just a little bit of a precaution, because if I go on this lane and merge, that means that somebody is gonna have to slow down for me or get out of my way, and I'm not in any hurry. And yes, I had plenty of time. I could have done it. Maybe I'm being a little bit over precautious. I don't care. You know, I want to get where I'm going. My right arm was hurting from holding the phone. That's why I need to get something that holds my phone in every different direction. And I want to put some cameras in this car all over the place. And then I'm gonna make it a bait vehicle for cops. And I'm gonna record them saying stupid shit all over the place. Oh man, I'm gonna put a sign on the back of my truck that says "Cops suck." Look, there's a sheriff right there. Oh man, that'd be funny. A bait vehicle for cops. There's so many horrible cops out there. I mean, there's a lot of good cops too, but you know, the horrible ones overshadow the good ones way by far, because you know, those are the ones you hear about. You don't hear about the good cops because they're, you know, they're doing their job. You hear about the bad cops that are out raping people and stealing and planting evidence. There's another cop car right there. Who's that? That's Pembroke Pine Police. He has no authority here. He has absolutely no authority here. Maybe I should have just gone in that lane. There we go. Now we can merge all the way to the left very safely. And then if some crazy guy runs into me right now, it's not my fault. And insurance would just give me a brand new truck. As long as I was still alive and everybody was still alive, I wouldn't give a shit. As long as everybody's okay. That's why we have insurance. And I'm gonna take it easy here. I could have gone through, but I'm not going to, because I have a very long load. This is another Harbor Freight that I used to buy when I lived in Hollywood. And I used to love to eat from Miami Grill. They used to be very good. But in the last 20 years, it's become kind of crappy. And I always used to eat at IHOP too. I don't know why I haven't been. Actually, I don't eat at very many restaurants anymore. Because I have diabetes and I take care of myself and I eat very healthy. I kind of buy stuff that's a little bit And by better, I want to say better, but by better I mean less greasy or less sugary or stuff like that. And actually I can eat like garbage every now and then because I take very good care of myself. So 1 or 2 days of me eating really crappy food is not a problem. If you measure my blood right now, it seems like I don't have diabetes. And one thing I want to get into now is exercising again. I have stopped exercising in the last, like let's say last year. It's been about a year since I've really really exercised. Maybe less than a year. I used to be very big on exercising, and I need to get back into it. I got myself a jump rope, and I'm gonna start jumping rope again. Maybe I'll make a couple videos of that. Maybe it'll encourage me to exercise by encouraging people to exercise too. I'm gonna get myself a pair of nunchucks because I used to love playing with nunchucks, and it kind of stretches your arms out and just makes you move. You know? This is Hollywood. This is a great neighborhood to raise your family, to raise a young person. So now we're going to turn right on Johnson Street. We're going to make sure that there's no traffic because I have a very long load. There's a car coming way over there, so I'm not going to go. And there's nobody in behind. Oh, the light is green, so I'm going. All right, everybody, we absolutely made it. We did a good job. No issues whatsoever. No shifting of the load. No incidents. Which is very cool. I'm only a few blocks away from my buddy's house. I lived in this neighborhood like a whole bunch of years. When I came back from New York, I bought a house here. I think the house was $25,000 with a huge property. And then I built another house in the back as an investment, and that's when all the housing market went to hell. So I had to live in the house for a while. But when I sold it, I made some good money off of it. So everything was good. And we got to have a lot of fun raising my daughter here. These people in this house always have some cool Toyotas, young kids. They're always working on their Toyotas. There's one right there covered up. It's very cool. It's a very family-oriented neighborhood. And you know, you could buy houses here for under $400,000. Look at this guy, he's backing up. I hope he sees me. He was just gonna keep going. That's what I'm talking about. You gotta be very careful of everybody around you because people just don't know how to drive. That guy was just going. And he doesn't realize, since he's backing up, no matter what, the accident is his fault. Because he's backing up. He doesn't realize that. And a lot of people don't even know that. It's like people don't even know the rules of the road. They don't know what's going on. They don't even know. It's like I'll put it this way. I was gonna turn left at a red light one time in downtown. And supposedly you're only allowed to turn right on a red light. But I was gonna turn left. And I was telling this guy that was in the middle of the street, this construction worker, could he please get out of the way so that I could turn left? He goes, you're not allowed to turn left on a red light, man. Learn how to drive. I said, no, buddy, listen. This is a one-way street. That means since it's a one-way street, there's nobody coming from the left. So yes, you're allowed to turn left on a red light. He was like, oh? You know? He's a freaking idiot who just wanted to talk. Some moron who thinks he knows. So there's a lesson. I'll end this video with one lesson. If you're not sure what you're talking about, best thing to do is just keep your mouth quiet and say, hey, or maybe say, I'm not sure about this. Are you sure? And then, you guys can explain what's going on. Hey, everybody, I'm at my buddy's house in Hollywood. I brought all this wood for him and for Peter. And look, everything came safe. Nothing shifted, nothing moved. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very happy with what I did. This video has been like 55 minutes. Anybody who wants to watch a 55-minute video of me showing off my beautiful city and driving very carefully, please go ahead and watch it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Remember that you are important. Remember that you are cool. Remember to be very kind to yourself. Look at that Cuban oregano. Holy shit, it's huge. Be very kind to yourself. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscriptions. I'm going to see if my buddy lets me make a video of this cool BMW. Her name is Crystal. And it is what it is. Have a nice day, everybody.